A landspout touched down in Cape Coral with no warning, surprising neighbors and leaving damage in its wake. Trees, lanais, and furniture all swept up in a landspout. A Cape Coral lanai was completely crumpled from the landspout blowing through. A neighbor said the homeowners are gone for the summer, but have been notified of the damage. Across a canal, a tree was not just ripped apart, but visibly twisted by the landspout's force. Neighbors said they were shocked to see the landspout appear almost out of nowhere. Swirling and turning, and then the wind was getting tougher and hotter. It was hard to actually stand within it, neighbor Lynette Scarcello said. All of a sudden, I saw this wind starting to kick up and swirl up, Bob Sutter said. I'm kind of like, I might need to go inside. Carrie Hecox and her son were home when the landspout struck. I could see screens kind of swirling over the house behind us right here, and I was like, to my husband, I think it's a tornado. Do we need to, get out of here? Hecox said. The Hecox family watched through a window as the landspout swept up chairs and their neighbor's batting cage right into their fence. They grabbed their kids and dog and took shelter in their laundry room. My husband popped his head out and could see the fence was up in the air, so he kind of ran back and we could hear it, Hecox said. It's loud, but and then it was over. The family immediately called their neighbors, the Raposas, who were at a softball tournament. The Raposas returned home to find their grill in their pool. We were sitting there kind of waiting out the rain to go to our car, and we got a text that was like, "There's a tornado in our yard," Christine Raposa said. Neighbors brought grappling hooks over to help fish plastic chairs from the canal. Down the street, a group of friends were in their pool and caught the landspout traveling overhead. Jonathan Contreras and Emiliano Fernandez said it happened in the blink of an eye. Just a matter of 20 minutes, all that crazy wind and all that rain just came out of nowhere, Fernandez said. And then back to normal. Contreras started recording and caught the moment the wind swept his grill into the pool. He was shocked to see the destruction left behind. It was almost like a hurricane, Contreras said. There was debris everywhere, fences down. It was definitely unusual. Cars were chipped and scratched, and a brand new month-old canopy was ripped apart. Neighbors said they had flashbacks from Hurricane Ian, the last time they had to fix a fence, lanai, or other damages to this extent. We can pick up mangoes. We can pick up trees. We can't pick up people as easily, Scarcello said. So right now, everyone's safe, and that's all that matters. Whatever got broken, whatever got damaged, it can all be replaced, Sutter said. A life cannot be replaced. The landspout left behind broken lanais, shredded trees, and grills scattered in pools. Debris swirling in the air was the first thing people said they saw during those moments of panic. A series of violently rotating supercell thunderstorms ripped through central Florida between the late afternoon hours of Tuesday, May 12th, and the early morning of Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. The severe weather system left a dense trail of property damage, shattered windshields, torn roofing, and widespread power outages. Driven by an unusually cold upper-level atmospheric trough, clashing with deep subtropical moisture, the storms unleashed torrential downpours, straight-line winds tracking up to 60 miles per hour, and an extraordinary volume of large hail. Residents in Seminole, Orange, Volusia, and Lake counties reported hail ranging from the size of small peas to large ping-pong balls, transformational winter-like landscapes across the Sunshine State. Seminole County was arguably the hardest-hit locality during the Tuesday afternoon volley. In Oviedo and neighboring Winter Springs, residents described a deafening roar as hail began falling shortly after 4:30 p.m. Within 15 minutes, residential lawns, driveways, and local roadways were completely blanketed in a thick layer of white ice cubes, mimicking a sudden winter blizzard. Thousands of vehicles parked in open residential driveways or caught on State Road 417 sustained heavy denting. Local body shops reported an immediate influx of calls for shattered rear windshields and side mirrors. Multiple apartment complexes reported shattered skylights, and older asphalt shingle roofs suffered extensive granule loss. exposing the underlying waterproof membranes to subsequent torrential rainfall. As the storm cell tracked northeast toward the St. Johns River, the city of Lake Mary experienced a concentrated burst of ping-pong-sized hail. Tree canopies took a severe beating. The weight of the ice combined with wind gusts knocked down heavy oak branches across localized power lines along Lake Mary Boulevard. Several shopping plazas noted exterior stucco damage and broken outdoor signage due to horizontal, wind-driven hail. The storm system extended its reach south into Orange County by Tuesday evening, significantly impacting the University Corridor near the University of Central Florida, UCF, and the suburban community of Alafaya. While UCF campus structures escaped major architectural failures, several outdoor student recreation areas suffered torn awnings, and outdoor furniture was shredded by fast-moving ice chunks. Flash flooding combined with wind-snapped utility poles left an estimated 14,000 residents in East Orange County without electricity for several hours into Wednesday morning. Duke Energy and OUC crews worked through the night to clear debris and restore grid connectivity. A catastrophic multi-vortex tornado outbreak ripped through the heart of central Nebraska on Sunday afternoon, May 17th, 2026, leaving behind an unprecedented trail of structural destruction, obliterated homesteads, and flipped vehicles. The violent atmospheric event triggered multiple emergency declarations, sent storm chasers fleeing for their lives, and prompted desperate, high-stakes search and rescue operations across several rural counties. Despite the sheer magnitude of the destruction, which leveled entire residential blocks and reduced historic farms to splintered timber, emergency management officials reported a modern miracle on Monday morning. As of May 18, 2026, there have been 0 confirmed fatalities. The absence of mass casualties is being widely credited to early radar detection, rapid-fire smartphone alerts, and the profound bravery of local neighbors who pulled one another from collapsing basements as the storms raged overhead. The catastrophic events of May 17th did not catch meteorologists completely off guard, though the explosive intensity of the supercells surpassed some of the worst-case modeling. Beginning early last week, the Storm Prediction Center, SPC, in Norman, Oklahoma, had been tracking a volatile, highly organized weather system moving out of the Rocky Mountains. By Sunday morning, an unseasonably warm, moisture-rich air mass from the Gulf of Mexico surged northward into the Great Plains, colliding violently with a powerful, fast-moving cold front. This boundary created an atmospheric pressure powder keg across Nebraska, characterized by extreme instability, high dew points, and severe wind shear, the rapid shifting of wind speed and direction at different altitudes, which provides the critical spinning motion required to birth tornadoes. By midday Sunday, the National Weather Service, NWS offices in Hastings and Omaha, escalated their warnings, issuing a rare, high-risk designation for severe weather. Within hours, the skies over central Nebraska turned an ominous, bruised shade of dark green and black. By mid-afternoon, the cap on the atmosphere broke, and discrete supercell thunderstorms began exploding along the Interstate 80 corridor. These cells quickly morphed from standard severe thunderstorms into violent rotating monsters, capable of producing long-track, wedge-shaped tornadoes. The tornado outbreak was not a singular event, but a continuous barrage of multiple twisters dropping from rotating wall clouds over a span of several grueling hours. The geographical footprint of the damage spans multiple rural counties, with several small towns bearing the absolute brunt of the atmospheric fury. In the rural community of Palmer, located in Merritt County, a massive, highly visible wedge tornado made direct landfall. Eyewitnesses described the sound as an inescapable, deafening roar resembling a dozen freight trains passing simultaneously. The tornado tore through agricultural fields before slamming directly into residential sectors and farmsteads. Entire barns were completely vaporized, their corrugated metal roofs wrapped around distant power lines like aluminum foil. In the immediate aftermath, emergency crews rushed to the scene where houses had collapsed into their own foundations. In one miraculous extraction, Rescue workers and volunteers dug through heavy wooden beams and shattered drywall to successfully pull 2 trapped residents from the remains of their home. Both survivors were transported to local medical centers with non-life-threatening injuries. Just north of the larger hub of Grand Island, the community of St. Library experienced a direct strike from a violent, wide vortex tornado. The storm was heavily documented by veteran storm chasers and local residents who captured terrifying footage of the twister violently churning through properties. On Monday morning, drone footage captured by news agencies and emergency management personnel revealed the true scale of the devastation in St. Library. The aerial perspective showed rows of homes completely unroofed, structural walls pancaked to the ground, and heavy pickup trucks thrown into neighboring fields. It was here that one of the outbreak's most dramatic moments was captured on video. A dramatic, real-time rescue where a group of local men navigated a treacherous pile of jagged debris to pull out trapped survivors, including a family dog that had been buried alive beneath splintered timber. The dog, visibly shaken but uninjured, was reunited with its emotional owners on camera, providing a rare symbol of hope amidst a landscape of ruin. As the supercells marched eastward, the threat grew so severe that the National Weather Service invoked its highest, most urgent tier of atmospheric alerts. This declaration is reserved exclusively for situations where a massive, confirmed, and highly violent tornado is actively moving into a densely populated area, presenting an immediate threat to human life. The town of Hebron found itself squarely in the crosshairs of this emergency declaration. Sirens wailed continuously as residents scrambled into interior safe rooms, storm cellars, and basements. The core of the tornado ripped through commercial and residential properties, downing massive century-old trees and severing high-voltage transmission lines. The preventative sheltering ordered by the emergency broadcast is widely cited as the primary reason the town avoided a massive casualty event. In St. Paul and the unincorporated community of Archer, the scene was equally apocalyptic. Intense vortex activity lifted heavy machinery, agricultural equipment, and passenger vehicles, tossing them dozens of yards from where they were parked. Local roads were rendered entirely impassable, choked by a dense matrix of downed power poles, shattered glass, scattered household insulation, and personal belongings. In St. Paul and the unincorporated community of Archer, the scene was equally apocalyptic. Intense vortex activity lifted heavy machinery, agricultural equipment, and passenger vehicles, tossing them dozens of yards from where they were parked. Local roads were rendered entirely impassable, choked by a dense matrix of downed power poles, shattered glass, scattered household insulation, and personal belongings. As the dust and debris settled on Sunday evening, the true strength of Nebraska's rural communities became evident. Long before state or federal emergency assets could physically navigate the debris-choked highways, local residents mobilized into makeshift search and rescue teams. Armed with chainsaws, flashlights, and heavy-duty farm tractors, neighbors worked systematically through the darkness to clear paths and check on vulnerable community members. The story of the St. Library dog rescue quickly went viral worldwide, capturing the collective grit of the state. Neighbors refused to stop digging even as secondary severe weather warnings threatened the area. "We heard screaming from beneath what used to be the living room," said Thomas Vance, a local resident who assisted in the volunteer rescue efforts in Merritt County. "We didn't wait for the heavy equipment. We just started lifting timbers with our bare hands. When you see your neighbor's house gone, adrenaline takes over. You don't think about the danger, you just dig." First responders, including local volunteer fire departments, county sheriffs, and the Nebraska State Patrol, worked through the night under the illumination of spotlights and flares. They conducted primary and secondary searches of every single damaged structure in Palmer, St. Library, and St. Paul, ensuring no one was left behind in the rubble. While the lack of fatalities is a monumental victory, the financial and structural toll on central Nebraska is projected to be staggering. State economists and insurance adjusters indicate that the damages will easily reach tens of millions of dollars. Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen issued an official statement early Monday morning, expressing his profound gratitude for the first responders and outlining the state's immediate deployment of emergency resources. The images coming out of central Nebraska are heartbreaking, but the stories of survival and neighborly love are inspiring, Governor Pillen stated. We have deployed the Nebraska Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, alongside the Department of Transportation to clear roads, restore communication networks, and provide immediate shelter to those who have lost everything. Nebraska is a resilient state, and we will rebuild these communities brick by brick.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Guys. Mom, keep praying. That worked.
Oh my gosh. Please.